big picture understanding of the brain now that we are into the brain proper. Before we get into the details, I want to teach you the big chunks of the brain, and really there are four of them. We've got the cerebrum, and we will learn quite a bit about the cerebrum. We have what's called the Diencephalon, which students have trouble remembering, the brain stem, and then the cerebellum. So let's look at just those four parts and make sure you can find them on both a lateral view of the brain and a mid-sagittal section. So let's look. So the first big part, and the one that you are going to need to be able to identify for sure, is this great big, most of the brain looking brain part. This portion is called the cerebrum. Probably not very hard. The cerebrum is the biggest portion of the brain, and of course it's characterized by these folds, these depressions and these folds, and we'll talk about why it exists that way in a moment. Big picture understanding of the cerebrum is that this is kind of higher brain function, not exclusively, but this is where conscious thoughts and voluntary initiation of movement are going to occur. And then the other big part that most people can identify is this part down here, and that is of course called the cerebellum. And that is mostly about coordinating motor movement. When people say muscle memory, it's actually not in your muscles. Most of that is actually in your cerebellum. And then if we go to a mid-sagittal section, you can see the other portions of the brain best on a mid-sagittal section. So let's look at those. So the portions of the brain that are kind of hidden from view when you're looking at a lateral section are this middle portion right here, right here. Okay. That middle portion is called the diencephalon, and students kind of have trouble figuring out what that is. It's mostly the thalamus, the hypothalamus, and the epithalamus. And then the fourth portion of the brain is this portion from the diencephalon on down until where the spinal cord starts. All of that is called the brainstem. Okay, so we've got four portions, and you can actually see all of them from a mid-sagittal section. So I will point to them as we go through. You have cerebrum, cerebellum, diencephalon, and brainstem. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to talk about how they develop, and then we're going to talk about structure and function relationships of all of them. And we're going to go ahead and start with the cerebrum, and the cerebrum will be in the next video.